Hey y'all, I'm James Wright. Welcome to my shop, and no, that is not clickbait. I bought this house because of this vise. You see, this is an Oliver #1 pattern maker's vise. It is the ninja of all vices and can do everything in one vise. You see, this can clamp boards in all three orientations. Number one, the edge. End grain work that I'd need for joinery. Face work for smoothing boards out. But wait, my twin screw could do that. Even the classical leg vise can do that. But this one has dogs that can pop up, so I can clamp things flat to the face of the bench. Hey, wait, said the Andrew Klein twin turbo. I've got that too, but I've got a whole second row of them. And what do you do if you have a board that has a taper to it? You put it in the vise and, well, now nothing's really holding that in place. You see, this vise though, as you clamp it down, it can adjust to whatever skew you want. And I can hold them together so that now parallel boards out of joint. Now, yes, I do know Andrew Klein has an extra thing you can put on this to allow it to do tapers, but I didn't get that from mine. But the pattern maker's vise can turn. Ooh, that could be useful. Oh wait, small metalworking vices, that could be useful. And there's even dogs on the backside. But wait folks, that's not all. This vise can also rotate at any other weird angle and I can lock it down. And now I can do things at some odd angle up here. And I can loosen up the head and I can rotate it this way too. And I've got all of these capabilities and all of these angles so that I can hold anything that I want at any time, at any angle, in any orientation. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that. But why is it called a pattern maker's vise? A pattern maker made patterns. Things that were cast, you needed to actually make the shape itself out of a piece of wood. The pattern maker would make that piece of wood that could be put into the sand casting and you could actually get your piece out of it. You see, pattern makers were kind of the black belts of the woodworking world. They could make weird organic shapes that don't have any straight lines or any measurement, and they could do it to scale. And not only could they do it to the exact scale it needed to be, but a percentage of scale so that when the metal cooled, it would be the right size, even though the pattern was larger. Every cast piece of metal you've ever seen had to have a pattern maker make the pattern so that they could cast it. But some of these weird organic shapes can be difficult to hold. In a normal joinery bench, I could probably find some weird way to put this in there, but getting good points of contact in order to work on this and file down all these intricate holes would be quite a process in a vise like this. But with a vise like this, I can clamp it specifically exactly the way I want it, and I can even lock things down at weird angles so that now I can work on this pattern at a position that is comfortable to me, ergonomic, and easy to work with. But the reason that these weren't very common is that for 99% of woodworking, you don't need all of these features. You don't need something that can go at weird, interesting, intricate angles. For cabinetry or joinery work, rectangles are incredibly common, and honestly, that's all you really need to be able to hold in these. You don't need those crazy angles at weird lifts. A regular joinery bench will work perfectly fine. There's a reason that the leg vise is one of the most common vices that were ever made. They're simple, easy to make, and they do 99% of the function you need in a really simple vise. But if you've been in woodworking for any amount of time, you know every now and then, not very often, but every now and then you get a piece that's just difficult to hold. And you have to come up with some sort of jig and some method of holding it in place. It'd be really nice if I had one vise that would do them all. And that's really where this shines. And because of that, I have wanted one for a long, long time. And a few years ago, I was at a tool sale in Pennsylvania, about 1,000 miles away from where I was, and I flew out there. And what did I find? But a vise for sale. And had a decent price. Expensive price, but still a very decent price. I had to buy it and fly it home. Thankfully, I met a guy there that actually lived just a few miles away from me and drove all the way out to Pennsylvania. And he graciously carried this back in his truck for me, and I flew home, and I got it home to my shop. And come to find out, my bench I was using at the time was too small. It was too small to come in this way. The beam would stick out and run into my apron over here. I couldn't put it on the ends because I had stretchers it was going to run into. There was no way I could get my dream vise onto my current bench. Well, not a problem at all. I'll build a bigger bench. But my shop won't fit a bigger bench. I built this bench 5.5 feet long because it was about as big as I could possibly get and fit it in my shop. You know, wood by Wright is starting to take off and become something bigger. I wonder if I could convince my wife to let me build a bigger shop. So I got an engineer to design plans because we had enough space beside the house I could put on a small shop beside the house and it would work out well. But it was going to be very expensive, like an extra $40,000, even if I built it to make the shop would be about an extra $40,000. And for a little less than that, we could sell our current house and go buy another house that's big enough that has another shop on it and is a bigger space for the rest of the family because the kids are getting bigger too. So we bought a bigger house, and thankfully I now have a shop space that's a little bit bigger than a one-car garage. It's not huge, but it's large enough I can build a bigger bench. That was over a year ago, and finally, as of today, I now have a bigger bench in my bigger shop to fit my dream vise. And yes, we quite literally bought this house because of this vise. If we hadn't have purchased this vise and I started looking at all the things I wanted from it, we probably would not have started looking at buying another house. And yes, if you talk to my wife, she'll admit this is the reason we bought this house. And now comes the big question that a lot of people are going to ask. Am I going to use this vise every day? No. Am I going to use it every week? No. Am I going to use it every month? Probably not. Am I going to use it every year? Pretty good chance of that. It's not a vise that I need that often, but every now and then there's some weird piece that comes up. Some project I'm working on that I'm just trying to figure out how to hold it. Now I've got an answer. Am I going to become a pattern maker? Probably not. But at least now I have the option. And that right there is exactly how you find out you married the right woman. Yes, my wife was in on it and she knows that I like that vise and therefore I need a bigger bench and therefore we need a bigger shop and therefore we need a bigger house. And now today, I'm quite literally living the dream. And I'm looking forward to where this takes. Now I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who follows this channel. Without you, none of this would happen. Between patrons and members and everyone on there, thank you. You guys are the people that make all this happen, and I'm completely funded by you, the viewers. I don't take on sponsorships. So there's no Vise company wanting me to talk about their Vise. I get to go and do what I want to do because of you, and I want to say a huge thank you. And all those people scrolling over there, those are some of the patrons on Patreon. Thank you to every one of you. You are the reason I get to do this, and it means more than I can say. So if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, snide remarks, throw those in the comments down below. I do like reading those, and I'm looking forward to playing with the new Dream Vise and the new Dream Bench as things come up. And if you ever want to come and play with it yourself, you can come take a class in the shop. I offer one a month, and you can find those on Plain Wellness. We do have a lot of fun in here, and you can use all the vices I have in my shop. So I hope you like that, and I think that'll do it for now. And until next time, have a wonderful day. And for those of you asking, yes, Oliver is better than Emirates, and the reason being is that I've got an Oliver here, and I don't have an Emirates. But yeah, Oliver's better than Emirates. I think I'm going to start a TV show called Rockford Vise.